If you have been paying close attention to how the San Francisco 49ers are being discussed lately, you might have noticed something interesting.
The noise is quieter,
Not louder, not more dramatic, quieter.
and in the NFL, that is often the most important sign of respect.
Earlier in the season, the conversation around the 49ers was loud and chaotic. Every game felt like a referendum. Every mistake became a headline. Every win came with an asterisk.
That tone is changing. Not because the 49ers suddenly became a different team, but because analysts are starting to trust what they are seeing again. This shift did not happen overnight. It happened gradually, and that is exactly why it matters.
National analysts are no longer asking if the 49ers are for real. They are asking how dangerous they can be if they stay healthy.
That is a very different conversation. When the season began, skepticism dominated. Questions about consistency, questions about the quarterback, questions about late-season durability, questions about whether this roster could handle pressure moments. Those questions have not disappeared entirely, but they are no longer leading the discussion. Instead, the language has softened. Analysts are using phrases like complete roster, disciplined football, and balanced offense. They are pointing out defensive structure. They are highlighting how San Francisco wins in different ways depending on the situation. This matters because the NFL media ecosystem is slow to forgive, but even slower to praise prematurely. When analysts begin to speak with restraint instead of hype, it means trust is forming. One of the biggest changes is how Brock Purdy is being discussed. Earlier in the year, every throw felt like a test. Every game felt like a trial. Analysts focused on what could go wrong instead of what was going right. Now, the conversation is different. They are talking about his command, his poise, his ability to operate within structure, his decision-making under pressure. Not because he is flashy, but because he is steady. Steadiness is undervalued until January. And analysts know this. Kyle Shanahan is also benefiting from this shift. For years, the narrative around Shanahan has been complicated. Brilliant mind, creative schemer, but questions about adjustments and postseason execution. Lately, those critiques are being replaced with something more measured. Analysts are pointing out how Shanahan is managing games, not just designing plays, how he is protecting his quarterback, how he is adapting to personnel availability. That tells you the focus has moved from potential flaws to strategic intent. The defense is another reason for this quiet confidence. Instead of focusing solely on star names, analysts are breaking down structure, gap discipline, communication, situational execution. That is the language of respect. When national voices stop highlighting individual highlights and start discussing system integrity, it means the team is being taken seriously. Another key factor is how the 49ers are winning games. They are not relying on one script. They are not dependent on perfect conditions. They are winning ugly when needed and clean when possible. That versatility shows maturity. Analysts trust teams that can survive imperfect Sundays. And that trust is reflected in power rankings, betting lines, and playoff discussions. The 49ers are no longer treated as a volatile wild card. They are being treated as a known quantity. That is dangerous for the rest of the conference. Because here is the truth. The most dangerous teams are not the loudest ones.
They are the ones everyone quietly agrees are a problem.
The 49ers are drifting into that category.
But there is still caution.
And that caution is earned.
Analysts consistently return to one condition: health.
Every positive assessment comes with the same caveat: if they stay healthy. That is not criticism. That is acknowledgement of reality.
This roster, when intact, is one of the deepest and most balanced in the league. When compromised, it becomes ordinary very quickly.
That fragility is part of the evaluation, which is why the shift in tone is so meaningful. Analysts are not ignoring the risk. They are simply saying the upside is worth the conversation again. That is a big change. It also reflects how the NFC landscape is viewed.
There is no dominant force, no unstoppable juggernaut, no clear favorite that scares everyone. In that environment, teams that are stable, disciplined, and adaptable rise in value.
The 49ers check those boxes, and analysts know it.
This is why you are seeing fewer bold declarations and more careful confidence.
The league is recalibrating its expectations. And here is what fans need to understand.
This is the best possible position for the 49ers to be in. Not hyped, not dismissed, not overexposed.
Respected. When analysts stop arguing about you and start preparing for you, that is when a team becomes dangerous.
The season is entering its most unforgiving phase. Mistakes will be magnified. Injuries will matter more. Coaching decisions will carry heavier consequences.
And the teams that survive are rarely the ones that peak early. They are the ones that build quiet momentum.
Right now, the 49ers are doing exactly that.
Not with noise, but with trust. And that may be the most important development of the season.